We are back here on the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show. Marlin Woods is my guest. Before the commercial break, you described basically every parent, or in my case, grandparent's nightmare about being at the park or the playground, no bathrooms. So let's start there. Obviously, what's happening in our city parks is one of the things that is on your platform.
It is. Economic development is my platform because I believe that every issue by which creates problems roll up into economic development. And I have 5 platforms that I am going to address being solutions related in this economic development plan. And so the business of COVID-19 recovery is the first of that. You know, our region's comeback requires a comprehensive execution plan with a sense of urgency and attention. You know, the return of small, which leads to the next, the return of small business and emerging sectors, such as tech, because small business is under attack. And without small business, we have no Pittsburgh, seeing as though Pittsburgh's small business drives the economy of our region. And then a high performance healthcare agenda, ensuring the well-being of each resident through health care equity, transparency, accountability, and measurement. That's an acronym that I call TEAM. And then affordable housing with pathways to home ownership, because this is a multi-stakeholder platform that will drive and increase access to home ownership for generational wealth creation. And then a 360-degree police community reform. This is, Lynn, an extensive framework consisting of education and training and development and accountability for both law enforcement and the community. That is my platform. And to understand the in the weeds of those things, you can go to my website, marlinwoods.com, to learn about that plan and those strategies.
So, I mean, they all seem to me to be interconnected. I mean, you can't have this economic piece without the affordable housing piece. I mean, they all kind of fit together.
Right.
So then when you put all those pieces together, and now you have this vision, what does this Pittsburgh of the future look like to you?
So I'm so glad that's a very good question. I didn't know you were going to ask that, but I'm so glad you did. Pittsburgh is in this upward trajectory of expansion and growth. And so my responsibility as mayor is to drive that. Not to mimic the last administration, but to take it from where it last left off and to create solutions for each individual. Because this is not a broad brush that we're painting this with, but specifically to each individual, each household in each community. Why? Because again, I have 2 daughters that are 20 months apart. Lynn, they couldn't be more different. What one deems as progress, the other one does not. What one deems as quality, the other one does not. So just to say that this is for the Woods house really doesn't apply to Jace or Zai. One will love it, the other one will hate it. So now as a father, I have to say, which one for you do you deem quality and which one for you do you deem progress? And I have to create a solution or solutions that solve the issue of what one says they like and what the other one says that they like. And that's pretty much where this stands in driving Pittsburgh from where it is to each individual resident.
So let's stay right here where we are, because you mentioned 2 daughters.
Yes.
We've all heard the studies, the reports, the statistics.
Yes.
About women of color in Pittsburgh. How do you even begin? Well, twofold. As a dad, what's the message to your daughters? And as a candidate, what is the hope for the future?
So as a father, the message, and this is emotional and close to home for me. As a father, my responsibility to my daughters first is education, then protection. To tell them that the responsibility they have is to gather as much education as they possibly can so that they can, as I shared earlier about my sons, carry legacy as a responsibility as my great-grandmother shared it. And so looking at that gender equity report by the city of Pittsburgh and the University of Pittsburgh, did you know that to every $1 that a white male makes, the Black female makes 54 cents. Cents. Lynn, that's half. So she's doing double, even triple the work for half the pay. So now segue into the candidate. Now their father is running for public office to ensure that pay equity is something that is on the table, not just for my daughter, but for my neighbor's daughters. So hopefully that answers your question.
It does. It answers my question. You know, let's do this. I was going to ask you something, but let's take our commercial break now, and then we'll come back because we're not going to get it all in. So much to talk about. There's so many times I could use an hour. We'll be right back on the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show. Don't go away.